Yo! Video games.
So we saw it.
Yes.
It was long, but it didn't feel long.
No.
It didn't feel long, and you know, there was because there was like a little bit of hesitation. I'm like, wow, 3 hours, that's gonna be a long film.
That's gonna be a long movie.
You know, when I was sitting there watching, I'm like, fuck this, dude. How many times did I watch Lord of the Rings in theaters, and those were like, some of those were longer. I'm like, this was nothing.
It's intimidating when you first.
It's intimidating when you see it. You're like, all right, 3 hours. Like you're getting that pee break in the end, and you're like, oh man. And I was getting at that point where it's like I might have to go to the bathroom at some point. But
Actually,
That was pretty good.
towards the end, I was like, oh, I'm actually doing okay.
Yeah.
And in the credits, I was like, brain is like, oh god, I better go to the bathroom. Yeah. But in all things considered, it didn't feel like a 3-hour adventure. It was definitely, it felt like it was about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's a good compliment because the movie is really well done. Like I'm gonna give my really quick broad scale impressions. I don't know how they could have done it better.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have changed anything. I don't know how I would have made character interactions better or more effective. And similar to the previous movie, I wasn't a huge fan of how much they made you empathize with Thanos. But because I wanted to hate him. Yeah. And yeah, you hate him, but it's like I want him to be menacingly like my Thanos chopcopter,
like
you know.
a little bit better.
They do. In this one, they definitely do. In this one, it's absolutely like he's a warmongering bitch. Like,
you get a little bit more of that, like, you know,
and
like,
that's kind of why you realize that these movies, when they're paired next to each other, why they essentially did that. So I don't know. I really, really fucking liked it. What do you think, Kenny?
Yeah, dude. Same here. It was like going back and seeing what they were gonna do and how it was gonna happen. It was just amazing. It was, like I said, it didn't feel 3 hours. It felt smooth. It may have dipped in a place or two, but not too much.
The beginning-ish.
Yeah, the beginning-ish.
The beginning-ish is pretty dark.
Yeah. But then once things happen, and they happen fast, and they keep going.
And then shit starts happening.
Yeah.
And then the movie gets a little bit more lighthearted, and you're like, oh, we're back to the good old Avengers.
Yeah, right?
Stuff,
And it's cool.
I'll have to really echo that, where it's like a little bit more where I was like, I'm enjoying this, but there are definitely some parts where I'm like, it's kind of downer.
It's super
leading
downer.
in from the last movie, so I'm like, it's kind of downer.
And admittedly,
I don't know how some people might feel this is a little like, oh, this is a little too downer for my taste.
Yeah, and I feel like even some, and they sort of take the Harry Potter route where they know whatever audience they had that might have been younger at the start has definitely grown up and would be older.
Yeah, and I was enjoying it because I enjoy it when good actors are just talking to each other.
Yeah,
and the script is engaging enough. So
and there's a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah,
there's
so
a lot of
like,
character.
so there are parts where I'm like, I'm enjoying this. I could see where someone's just like, I want things exploding. You know.
So that's the thing. Steve, how did you feel overall before I get into it?
It was a good movie. It was a great movie. I thought the pacing actually was done pretty well, but for overall, it was a blast. Like you said, I wouldn't have changed it.
It's an emotional fucking roller coaster.
It was.
It's gonna pull at you from every goddamn angle possible because it's like it's the end of a ton of movies.
An era.
A giant era.
Yeah.
Oh God, what were we just talking about? I forgot what I was going to say.
Before you jump into it,
the Harry Potter comparison.
Oh yeah, so the movie has this perspective, and we're not going to get into spoilers just yet, but it has this perspective of where it started and where it's come. And the nice part is that it feels like since the Russo brothers are the directors, they've sort of had their hand dipped into this about half as long as this legacy has sort of lasted.
Yeah.
So they got a pretty good grasp of how to handle shit, and they did one of the best ones, and they did Infinity War. So
yeah, I'm gonna throw it on the gauntlet.
Yeah,
right now because they started with Winter Soldier.
Yes, they did.
Part 2, right?
Yeah, that was the first one.
So it's like that to hear. That's a pretty long run of the MCU.
It's a pretty decent chunk, and they have a pretty good perspective and scale because there's a lot of things that have to happen, even more so almost in this one, because not only in this one do you have like one of the craziest like conclusions to a movie at the end of the last one, you also have to follow that up with something that carries that weight, but is also still fun.
Yeah.
And the movie absolutely is that. And that's the thing where it was like the time length doesn't feel long because it just breezes by.
Yeah, man, that is definitely a tough thing to do, especially for this movie. Like, how do you go from something heavy and keep it the feeling heavy, but then also bring back what makes Marvel movies.
And all the way,
they avoided in a weird way. They avoided making the two movies feel separate because, like, the first movie kind of starts out like a lot more upbeat.
Yeah.
You know, because going back to Infinity War, so it starts out with like the New York thing.
Yeah.
Where like Tony Stark's jogging in the park with with his waifu and like
Yeah.
the weird
Starts
guy
off
comes
like a
up.
normal day.
Yeah, it's like hey Squidward, what's going on? Blah blah blah. But this movie's like no, we know we ended on a certain note.
Yeah.
We're gonna continue that from the start here. We're not gonna pretend like it's just like because like Avengers 1 to 2, you think about it too, like Avengers 2 starts and they're like Avengers are doing Avengers things.
Yeah.
It's not like the sort of because the traditional 3-act structure is usually kind of like you have an explosive beginning, you have like sort of like a high point, then you dip into their lowest point, and then then they rise up and you have the big climax finale. But this one is a little bit like, hey, we know we ended on a like sour note.
I think it's absolutely an explosive opening. Like it is.
It kind of is, but you get what I mean. Like it's not like there's not like this. Oh my gosh! Like these characters hit the low point a third of the way through the film.
Yeah,
like they start on a low point.
It's still a
because it's coming after Infinity War.
It's still a complete movie. Through and through.
And it feels like it has that feeling of these movies were written at the same time. These movies were filmed at the same time.
Oh yeah,
these movies were thought about in a cohesive structure.
Isn't that great?
Isn't that great?
Shouldn't more sagas do that?
Yeah, right. Giant Star Wars glare.
Yeah, right.
Not even that.
Let's just give it to people and they write their story.
Not just Star Wars, but I was sitting there even thinking, like, my God, poor Justice League.
Oh, that too, man. And that
like they kind of sort of tried to build something up really quickly to Justice League, and it was just like, who gives a shit?
Well, that was the thing.
There was, you saw the trailer for X-Men, and I'm like,
zero cohesion throughout the entire thing. So, in general, everyone's going to say they liked it, and everyone's going to be sort of broad stroke with their opinions because there are some super spoilery things
it's really
that happen.
Hard to talk about.
And now that's where our review
exactly right. It's a review.
This is where our review sort of stops, and now we have to get into spoiler territory because there's only so much you can kind of talk about with just saying you should go see it. Even if you remotely were okay with the first one, you definitely should go see the second.
If you had any interest in any of the Marvel movies, you'll probably enjoy this on some level.
Yeah, I mean, you have to absolutely see this on a big screen.
And I don't think this is gonna be something that's like super split, you know, down the middle, like say Matrix 3.
No,
a lot of people are like, I really like. Matrix
this
3.
isn't like, is the Back to the Future 3 the best one? Is Return of the King the best? Lord of the Rings? Like, there's arguments like all over the place. This is probably one of the best Marvel movies.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be really any
there's no
divisiveness.
Argument. I think it's better than Infinity War.
I actually like. You know what? Yeah, I kind of like.
They're really close,
I like some of the things they do in this film more.
I do, and that's the thing. This movie, while Infinity War feels like it is the setup, this one is like the pitch, and this one's the home run. And the reason is because this movie's fun. Like once you get past that beginning part, and they start introducing spoilers, all the time travel elements. There was some genuine parts in the beginning of the movie where it was, oh, we're going to go visit Thanos on his planet. We know where that bitch is. Motherfucker, I'm going to cut off your head. Cut off his head. Everyone's like, oh shit, he's dead now. Well, now what? Yeah. 5 years later, I was like, oh shit, where is this movie fucking going?
They don't got him. They don't got anything.
I was thinking that kind of like at the beginning too, where they're going down to the planet and they're like, he's down there and he's not guarded. Let's go take him out. I'm like, where are they going with this?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that they have no clue.
Is he just gonna womp them real fast, or are they just gonna like fucking murder?
Yeah, you know what?
It's a great fucking moment.
That's the thing where things get really fast. Yeah, and it's from that moment I'm like, there's no plan. There's no plan. Like, okay, this is scoped out. He's here. It's
a really good idea.
It was like it was like when Liam Neeson went back in Taken. He went back to the guys and he's like, you heard the thing, and he just fucking whoops them. He doesn't. I thought he was gonna go back and make a plan and do all this stuff and come back. No, this is like, okay, we're going in and doing this.
Yeah, it's almost like this. He just shoots a guy in the head. That's it. He doesn't fucking say anything.
It's almost like this movie does a very good job of subverting your expectations, but in a very effective way. So, and then
I'll only say I was subverted at the prologue.
Well, that's the idea, is that you don't know where the hell, you don't know how it's going to integrate. Like, how are we going to get people back? And then
after the prologue, well, kind of the moment we saw the van. Once
You
the
get it.
van showed up,
Yeah.
I'm like, I know exactly where this movie's going.
You get it and you know where it's going. And then the next part that really got me was New York 2012. I was like, oh shit, we're
I was like,
revisiting
oh, this
the
is
fucking.
fun,
This
isn't
is
it?
fucking cool, man. Like
They're Back to the Future
Hulk
2
has to
moment.
act like he's a big asshole. Like this is something. Yeah, it's definitely a Back to the Future 2 moment that happens within all the crazy time travel stuff
they
that they
did
start
something
doing.
kind of neat too, where like they showed because all the MCU movies are supposed to be in the same universe, but there's been plenty of times where the MCU films take place in a location where another MCU character should
Probably
theoretically be, right?
Yeah.
But we don't see them in those other movies because you obviously can't get all those big actors all the time,
Sure.
right? So a big example of this was Doctor Strangeland or whatever, Ridley's Believe It or Not museum he lives in, right?
Oh yeah.
Like they show that in New York in 2012.
Yeah.
You didn't see that in Avengers 1, but it's like it's technically
It's still
it
there,
had
yeah.
to be there, right?
Yeah, and they were actually
the
helping.
scepter-
And
Yeah, they just
Sanctum?
shows what they were. Yeah,
it helps.
Something
It
like that.
shows
Yeah.
that the master wizard or the
yeah,
wizard master.
Tilda Swinton. Yeah,
She's sitting there blasting dickheads
Yeah.
But you know
and
what's-
helping
and
out.
protecting stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but-
okay, cool. We actually get to see what was going on.
Yeah.
I like that.
And it was neat. She knew what's up. She's like, oh yeah, you're early. So she's messed around with the time stone.
Oh yeah, well
too.
she knows. I mean,
Yeah.
she has the fucking time stone,
wearing it
so
on her
she
neck.
gets it.
But I like
well,
that.
she
I like-
even in the original Doctor Strange, she even talks about she knows how she died. She's seen it multiple times.
She
Yeah.
sees all the time.
Because that was the
She
thing
knows
that
how
was
she
that was
dies.
bugging me when he gets there, and then, like when Bruce starts saying some stuff, I'm like, she should know.
Yeah, she already
Yeah.
knows.
She
Yeah.
does.
Been-
And that,
Like,
I think,
they
I
account
think that
for
is
that.
the biggest like sort of plot hole in the whole thing is that since she's literally controlling time and can see time, she would see that this shit. Oh yeah, I know you. I've
Was
been
the
waiting for
argument
you.
even
Well,
necessary?
yeah, the argument isn't even
Yeah.
necessary. But the thing is, what
It was
the first time that
what
he
she
did it.
said did cover it.
Yeah.
She's not the best. Stephen
Yeah.
Strange was the best.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm like, well, Stephen isn't wrong because he is the best wizard. So maybe
Yeah.
I was wrong. And that's when she's like, oh fuck yeah, you take this.
Yeah.
Like if he
Yeah.
was right, then I have not seen this.
But I did like how
that's their cover.
there was a couple other things where I was kind of like, I really hope we don't have to drag out and like keep repeating scenes of like I'm from the future.
Yes.
They didn't really do that too much. Like again with Tilda Swinton, it was really good because she immediately started accounting for future self. Like
Yeah.
Thanos
Yeah.
when he in Nebula when he starts finding out shit, he is like it's not. He doesn't go, how is this possible? Like for he says it for a second, then he's just like,
Well, he gets it because he
He's
knows
like-
what he's after is
Yeah, he
controlling
knows what
the
he's
universe.
after, yeah,
like
and
the
he starts-
it's like they're not Earth characters; they're space characters.
Well, and
so they
far
use
too
the
many
space
times
magic.
in films, like the audience is always
No.
one step ahead of the character.
No,
And then you have to wait for the moment where they have to like explain it to the character in the movie when you already know, and it's just like they figure it out.
Yeah.
Like they don't dwell on that stuff too much. There's a funny moment though. They actually play around with that because we're in spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Where Captain America runs into Captain America, and he's just like, "I found Loki. He's escaped."
Yeah, that was a
He
great
immediately
gimmick.
like, assumes it's Loki.
Yeah, that was a great gimmick because Loki was there at the time and he's the trickster bitch and that was so funny how the cube just pops out of him. He's like, what? He's like rolls back into the space suit and they're like, fuck, what do we do now?
Yeah, that I was like, oh god.
I was like, how are they gonna fix this shit?
Yeah,
It
it's
could
gonna
be
make this
anywhere.
movie a lot longer.
So and then they go into they do the whole time they essentially do the Bill and Ted timeline where and they specifically talk about this how their understanding of time travel is movies. And it's like this stupid gimmick. Oh, they don't know what the fuck.
That was his argument. He was like arguing all these time travel.
Is it going to be like
movies.
Back to the Future or Terminator? He's like, I don't fucking know. Like,
People say no, it's like Terminator, and it's like this. And I'm like, how do you know?
yeah,
No
that's the
one
thing is
knows.
that you don't know, and they set up their own like it's a mixture of Bill and Ted and Back to the Future. So they do the timeline explanation thing. You can alter a timeline, but they also do the thing where everything's okay because we did fix it. We do fix it. And that's why it's like going to be fine. That's why we're going to bring the stones back. That's why we're actually still here.
Yeah.
But all the events still have to transpire. So it's like time travel movies are fun when they're done right.
Yeah, they're
and this
always
one is
fun.
definitely fucking fun because they have to go back to the previous movies, and that was the entire gimmick of Back to the Future 2, which made it a lot of fun. Is that they went back to the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing about this movie, I guess we can talk about spoiler. It has a lot of feels too.
Yeah, goddamn, man.
A lot of feels.
That's
a lot
what I
of
feel like.
laughs,
This movie's
and
almost
well
like
done.
It is very emotionally draining. There wasn't any cringy jokes.
Yeah,
wasn't any.
You really need to think about the time. Do you remember in the 90s when comic book movies were not good? good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like Steel and, you know, even going to
even the original Captain America, yeah.
Yeah, and
they
you
didn't start getting good until Blade.
Yeah,
well, Blade was pretty
especially
decent.
Blade 2 and stuff, and it's like, you know, think of how far we have come from those meandering, like, you know, era of Steel and Batman and Robin, and Batman Forever.
Like, for example,
how far we've come in the acting spectrum.
And that's
what they were good actors in those old movies, but man, those movies.
And that's what I really appreciate about, like, sort of the solemnness of, like, Infinity War and Endgame is that there are some, like, genuinely just good filmmaking moments that are within these stories, and it's just like they're spending a lot of time on characters and their interactions with each other, and they're spending a lot of time of why they care. And I cared about every single fucking character and what they make you care about Rocket Raccoon, they make you care about Nebula, they make you care, and Nebula has a whole arc that is, like, really interesting.
Yeah.
So
this movie felt more about her than it was about him.
Nebula had a big ass role, right?
It actually kind of felt like Nebula was kind of the main character.
I mean,
but the funny thing is, she ties the plot together.
Yeah,
like she's literally the anomaly that.
Before it was Thanos, who was the main plot, and now it's Nebula.
And it's about Nebula's,
in a
like,
weird sort of way. It went from Thanos to Nebula.
I did feel like the pacing was a little off during the whole death part of, again, spoilers of
we're in it.
Fucking Black Widow. Like they literally just regurgitated what they did in Infinity War, which was him making you feel the feels
the only way you can get the Soul
Gamora.
Stone.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying there a little bit. Where it's kind of like we're repeating, and we're also repeating the emotional beat of it too, as well. So it's kind of like it's not just
they did throw a rock in it where they were like, yeah, I'm going to let you do this. No, I'm not. I'm going to let you. And they're fighting for who's going to die.
As opposed to just the surprise that Thanos was actually in love with his daughter. Like, and then the whole waking up in the water thing, like he gets up in the water.
Yeah, he didn't really have, like, a significant moment. I guess what it is, it's not. It's like the mountain goes away.
Right.
Is what it feels like. It's like once the Soul Stone has been retrieved from that hill, everything vanishes, and you're just left with, like, water or some shit.
So that's fine they repeat that, but here's, I think, the one small issue, and it's not really an issue, because, again, you said it, I don't know how they do it differently. Every Infinity Stone they went after, there was some twist to getting it.
There's some gimmick, You
know, even if it wasn't necessarily a fight, it was still, like, this guy fucked up, and then, like, his plan didn't go accordingly, so we had to, like, improvise, and they had to do this, and, like, big fucking thing.
As a good time travel movie should.
Yeah.
Right, as a good but the Soul Stone, it's like, nope, it's kind of the same damn thing.
Yeah, Soul Stone,
go to this hill,
red heads up here.
Talk to not Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, you know.
And, like, someone's got to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, I was hoping they would do it different and, like, outsmart it, but at the end of the day,
it was the one that was literally like, I'm not trying to be a pun lord, but it was set in stone. It was like the one Infinity Stone that's set in stone. That's the only way this shit works.
Because a lot of people are like, well, that's and they'll be like, well, that's because it's because the Soul Stone never left.
The Thor one was pretty simple. All you had to do was just stab Gwyneth Paltrow.
Right, but then he made it a huge issue because
he fucked it up.
Yeah,
that would
that ended up being fantastic.
Natalie Portman.
When he's all
stabbed Natalie Portman in the ass.
I thought it was Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, he can't confront his love, and he's too drunk and like.
By the way, we got to acknowledge that Big Lebowski Thor was fucking amazing.
Yeah, right.
That take on that character, it was like, I think they're at a point where it's like, the Thor Ragnarok was the way it was, and then they specifically, I remember watching videos on this, how people were pissed that Thor Ragnarok, people kind of like this lighthearted Thor, and then Thor goes right back to being classic Thor in Infinity War 1.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they took that, the reason they did that is because they knew what they were going to do with Thor in Infinity War 2 was going to be so crazy.
Right.
Like, we're going to make him a fat drunkard.
Turned into, like, literally,
he turned into, like,
Lebowski.
Yeah, he becomes this total slob.
Wearing almost the same exact thing.
And he has PTSD. And he's like fucked up, and I thought that twist on that character was friggin' brilliant.
And the way they started bringing him around too, like the scene with his mom,
dude. The moment where it's like where Hulk. Oh, and what they did with Hulk was fucking brilliant too. Where they make Hulk and Bruce Banner the same person now.
Yeah, which was in the comics, and
which was in the comics. How you have Brainiac Hulk. You have
they got smart Hulk in here.
You got civilized Hulk, and now you got Hulk that's like taking selfies with people and hanging out. It's like, this is a weird take on this character, but it feels like it's necessary because we're at the end, so they can do crazy shit.
Yeah.
So you got fat drunk Thor, and then you have completely civilized Hulk.
Yeah.
and then everyone else is mostly like the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Except for Hawk. Hawk is...
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Hawkeye turns into a goddamn ninja assassin.
Yeah. He is badass.
He turns into the Punisher.
He
They're turns into the Punisher.
He probably has the most interesting change.
Yeah,
because a lot of people just kind of get really sad and like Thor has like PTSD. A lot of people just kind of like quit, like cave in on themselves, right?
Yeah.
But Hawkeye is like
becomes the Punisher.
Because anyone who's fucking evil and alive that didn't get Thanos snapped deserves to die.
He's like, dude, half the world's gone and you're still being a shithead.
Yeah,
you deserve to die.
That was
any unsnapped criminals. He just goes after them like. Can this be his series?
Yes, that's what I was telling you, dude. That has to be his series. I hope Disney does it. I know it's Disney.
So Hawkeye's getting a series?
He's getting a series on the Disney flicks.
Definitely not.
Can he get
I hope so, man. Because he is, like, alternate universe Batman.
The thing is, though, Disney's kind of reiterated that it's a family friendly service. It's all going to be out.
So is this movie which... Okay, I'm gonna say right now.
5 years have happened. We can get
this show. This movie being as big as it is definitely takes some liberties with the MPAA.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot of decapitations, and there's a lot of gore and a lot of moments, and I'm like, they're really pushed. And there's a lot of cursing, and I'm like, there's a lot of goddams. I was like, and that's the kind of stuff, like especially like the religion stuff that they're really like that can a few goddams can put you into an R rating.
Yeah.
So. There was a lot of Jesus Christ. Like I heard someone say Jesus Christ at some point in the movie, and I was like, "Wow, they're really making these characters."
Jesus Christ showed up and started fighting Thanos.
Doctor Strange, come in, Jesus! Oh, holy light! They definitely squeezed a little bit of the MPAA's balls there.
I think so.
This is the biggest fucking movie ever.
I think someone got grifted.
Right.
Absolutely.
Is there a count how many shits we can say? But I wanted to say too, because we were talking about Thor. That was one of my favorite scenes with his interaction with his mom.
Yeah,
it was awesome,
it was really
man.
Good.
It was really good.
And
fantastic.
She, just like Tilda Swinton, was like, I was raised by witches. I know.
And I'm like, that was dope.
She looks at him and was like, "You're from the future, aren't you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." Like,
and it was another Back to the Future 2 moment where he was trying to talk to her. And
they understand that space magic bullshit, so they don't. It's a much different thing than time travel is in all of the movies before.
Yeah,
everyone's like freaked out about like, what are you? In this movie, they're like, "You're from the future." Yeah. Like, oh wait, You're my son, but 10 years and it hasn't been nice to you. Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, and it was really heartfelt and really warming. And she did a Doc Brown. She's like, I can't know about my future.
Yeah, I guess that was in Thor 2 or some shit. One I didn't see.
Yeah,
I just never.
Oh yeah, there was I
barely even remember it.
There was
myself.
some weird stuff where I'm like, maybe this was a thing in Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm like, I didn't watch that movie.
I watched it. I barely remember it.
Yeah, but I will say I was actually very glad I watched Winter Soldier.
Oh, right?
Oh, because
there are multiple things in Winter Soldier that are like,
the goddamn elevator scene is incredible,
right? Brought it back, and they brought it back to the comic too. The biggest thing.
So
they threw a little shade on the comic.
They threw the thing on the comic. And some people that were comic fans were like, because they knew.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, you just heard about that. How they, at some point a few years back, they turned Captain America into like a Hydra operative. I don't know how they eventually resolved that arc, but Captain America was like a secret agent. And I'm pretty sure that was it. So they have this moment where they literally have that really tense-ass elevator scene from Winter Soldier, and they set it up again with all the same characters. Yeah. And then Captain America, as it feels like a fight is about to break out, he's in a call. The guy's in a call like, I don't know what you're doing, Cap. And he goes, "Hey, Hydra." Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So because like literally there'll be like no way for him to know it. So they're like, "Oh yeah, it just makes sense."
Yeah. And like that was a really good fucking nod.
Yeah, right.
And the movie is just littered with shit like that from the beginning to the end, and it's like. There was a lot of consideration put into this shit.
Yeah, my favorite nod was definitely the I am woman, hear me roar moment at the end of the movie, where they literally put all the
girl characters
together.
She
grabs a gauntlet and she says, "Don't worry, we got this," and literally screen starts panning all the female warriors in there. And that was like a badass moment.
Speaking of the girl characters, I'm shocked they really didn't do a lot with Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
I was kind of saying this. I'm like,
I guess
she didn't do much.
She didn't do much, but she was there to take out the ship.
Her, Scarlet Witch, and Hulk, and and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Hulk didn't end up getting a lot.
And Thor. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, all five of those were the most overpowered characters in.
They didn't do a lot.
They didn't do anything because they had to tone them down for the rest of it. The only person that really showed a lot of shit was probably Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
she
had a big ass moment.
Yeah, she had a
because
powerful shit.
That's because Robo Man.
Yeah,
Jarvis is dead still.
So she's fuming.
Yeah, that's. We're in spoiler territory. This is kind of the one loose end I felt didn't actually get addressed in the movie.
Ooh.
Vision.
He dies before the snap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm like, he's dead for real.
He's just he's gone. Because they had the staff.
Same thing with Loki. He's dead for real.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think that was like when he takes that cube in 2012 and zips away, and then they go to the Fat Thor in Asgard, and he's just sitting there on the couch just tossing something up. I'm like, he's fucked with the time.
Yeah.
Because they had to go back to an earlier point from 2012 to get the Tesseract. After that, after they fucked up and Loki disappeared. So
he can't fuck with the time. He just has he just has the space stone. He can't time travel.
Yeah, well, I know that, but I'm like, I wonder if that sequence, because he's getting a show too. He's getting a show too, so I'm like, I wonder if that sets up, because we don't know, because maybe time plays out the exact same way and he dies, the exact same way that he did at the beginning of Avengers.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't, and maybe him picking up that stone.
I bet you they're going to do alternate timeline shit, where it's like he space stones his ass to go get the time stone, and then
I was like,
makes another alternate timeline.
I just saw when that happened, I was like, I wonder if that's going to be a lead-in to his show and what they're going to do.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that was the only kind of thing I was thinking about too.
Because that was the thing. They did change. He did take it. He did disappear in 2012 with it, which caused them to go back to 1970 to get it at an earlier point in time.
Before it's lost,
But does Thanos still kill him, though? Because then what...
Right, exactly.
Yeah, he's still technically... we don't know.
Does time play out the same way, or did time change because of
that motivates Thor to become depressed and everything like that.
Well, it really depends if in Thor the Dark World... In that day that his mother dies, I never saw it. Is Loki hanging around?
Yeah, he's in the movie.
Yeah, he's in the movie.
So there you go. Then that makes perfect sense.
Does time play out exactly the same, or maybe that's a tease to that things changed? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean, if Loki's looking like Loki and like he does in this movie, he's hanging out and chilling in the big palace. Then
that was where I was kind of curious. I'm like, I wonder. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying maybe that's
chilling in the palace was a nod to the Dark World.
I figured as much, but I'm like,
because at the end of it, Loki takes the place of
the dad
Odin.
Yeah.
And so when he does that, then you can see him.
But I just wonder if him disappearing in 2012
the one that
changes anything.
The one that confused the fuck out of me is Thor takes the old gauntlet from the past.
So what does old Thor use?
So what does old Thor use to fuck shit up? Right? Thor's in the past when his mother...
The only thing I could think about that was the fact that his father says you don't need it. It wasn't a part of you anyway.
Oh, yeah, okay, so does that happen in Dark World or some shit?
What, the hammer?
The hammer, yeah.
No, it breaks in 3.
It breaks in 3, but is he just not using the hammer?
Oh, yeah, when he went away, he left with the hammer. I'm like, does that mean it's gone? Did he not get to use it in that movie?
That's the only thing that's like...
I'm sure someone's gonna have an explanation of how it ties through, like, because in Ultron, he's using it.
What's his face? Steve Rogers had it with him when he went back in time.
It back, so he took
So he probably just took it back.
That's
true.
That's right. He had the hammer.
And there was the time the Infinity Stone disappeared, so he just gave it back. He's like, hey, man, this is yours. You know,
I suppose that would be the most logical
thing. There we go. But going back to
that makes sense. The hammer is there.
Going back to that moment that Steve said, it was good. I mean, it was amazing. And my daughter was just like, whoa, this is, you know.
The part where he uses the hammer?
All the girls.
Oh,
came back and it's an awesome moment.
There's a lot of great beats where they tie back to that whole thing where Cap, way back in like Avengers 2, like slightly moves the hammer,
slightly moves
it up,
and then Thor goes like this.
So, and then it's pretty crazy that Steve Rogers was the other person in the universe that was worthy. And he picked up on it. And dude, when he gets the fucking hammer, it is hype as shit. Because I didn't see that shit coming. I didn't see that shit coming at all. I was like, what the fuck?
I thought it was Marvel.
Yeah, somebody else who was using the hammer, there was no other person there that could have used that hammer.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was going to be Captain Marvel or some shit.
That's what I was saying. Like, it's going to be Marvel.
I would have been furious if that was the case.
It's weird how she really drops in, says, hi, everybody. The rest of the universe is fucked, too, so I got to go deal with those problems. See you later. I'll be back.
It was starting to bug me, because, like, right after the snap, or the new snap, the Hulk snap, Warlords Land, all the people came back, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, she was out in a different galaxy dealing with...
I think she was heading back.
Yeah, because she was like... Yeah, because I'm like, okay, I guess she's going to have to head back, because I was starting to sit there like, all right, when's Marvel going to show up? Because
well, at
whatever
that
problem
point,
she had with the half full galaxy has been resolved by Bruce, so she should be coming back and showing up.
Yeah.
And finally, she did.
They come back at the perfect time.
Is that it's hard to write her into anything.
Exactly.
She's so
yeah.
fucking
And they did a good job. Like, and they did a good job at writing her out, which is
yeah.
Thanos used the goddamn Power Stone on her, which is more powerful than she is. So good.
Makes sense.
Bam, and she's like knocked out for the count to give Tony his moment in the end of the film.
Okay, yeah, because there's a weird thing. Her power all comes from the Tesseract, which is the Soul Stone.
No,
it's
Space Stone.
Space Stone, the old
sorry.
Space Stone.
The colors are confused.
Yeah.
Space is just a box. Power Stone whacks you around.
Wow, yeah. Power Stone is
So it's like
power.
Power Stone. Power Stone.
Her stone
day,
comes
all
from her powers come from one of the
Space,
stones.
yeah.
So I'm like, if there's a more powerful stone like the Power
Well, the
Stone,
idea is that
it should knock her back.
It should knock her back. So I guess it makes sense. I mean,
Well, that's why when he hit her, it didn't do anything. Like he was like, boom.
yeah. There's a neat moment where she's like, fighting his ass, and he punches her in the face. She just doesn't even move at all.
Yeah.
Thanos is
I'm
like,
like,
fuck.
God
Well, fuck
dang.
that Power Stone.
Yeah.
Literally, Marvel Infinite's that bitch like across the entire stage.
It's funny because Thanos is strong enough to kick the shit out of her.
Decimate the
but he
Hulk.
uses the thing, but he couldn't literally kill fucking Captain America. Captain America's a lot more stronger than you think he is.
Well, that's the thing,
Yeah.
because like when Captain America's just fighting with the shield, they're like, Cap, you're cool, man, but what are you doing, bro? Like, like I love you, Captain, but no. But then he gets the hammer, and I'm like, oh shit, now he's ready to whoop some ass.
That's the idea. Is that is like they have the breaking of the shield and all that stuff that's happening, and there's just a lot of great moments that build up, and the whole part where the goddamn whole world then shows up through the strange portals to go help out, and everyone. I like that everyone woke up with complete memory of what happened, and they knew that shit, they need our fucking help. Like we got to go get them. Like it was a good setup. I'm trying to think of they brought Gamora back, but she's younger Gamora
From
because
a different point.
Gamora died. She got soul stuff, so she's done.
It's funny because as soon as Iron Man goes, "I'm Iron Man," snaps his fingers. That was the end of Gamora because he took out the entire army, and she was part of his army. So as soon as Iron Man says, "You remember when Iron Man got the Gauntlet back?"
Yeah. I don't think she didn't vanish though.
No, she's done.
Well,
I think she's alive because she's in Guardians 3.
Oh, she's in
and
Guardians 3.
there was
she didn't disappear.
There was a
in the
slight
ending
nod
part.
at the very end in Quill's ship that she is missing.
Yeah,
like
because he's still looking at her, and then he like moves the.
I think it's supposed to be that obviously because she's from the past,
right?
She doesn't want to be a part of this shit.
She
She's
has
weird.
no memory of being with him, so she doesn't. She's just
exactly because they go like, this is the guy I'm with. This is
She's like, I don't like that shit.
But it wouldn't make any sense because how would Tony Stark know to spare her and then wipe out the army?
Well, I mean, she wasn't from Thanos' army originally. She's from a
that's the
conquered
writer's
planet.
convenience of it.
Well, here's the thing. I think
she's from a conquered planet. She's not blood related to him.
look,
she's not a Chitauri.
And I think
either,
here's how you solve it.
Well, I don't think some of the
it's bullshit argument because it's a writer's convenience.
No, but not even that. He could have just snapped anyone who was attacking.
No, it doesn't. It's complete bullshit.
Gamora changed her mind.
It's
remember?
complete bullshit, even if the character doesn't know, because it's a writer's convenience.
Right.
It's not that he's going to like, okay, I'm going to save this person. I'm going to save this person.
I'm going to save everybody that's attacking.
I saw a guy that might have been dressed up. I'm going to get rid of him. It's not like that. It's just it's a bullshit writer's convenience. You just snap out
it's
whatever
going to
the
be.
fuck.
It's obviously meant to be a plot point in Guardians 3.
Guardians, right, where she comes back.
He has to like reignite.
Yeah.
His relationship with an estranged, out of time Gamora.
That's like it's like why wouldn't Thanos just get rid of all the key people instead of just half?
Right.
Like it's a writer's convenience because they need to write in the way they get them back. Like it's not even worth arguing.
Even the whole him snapping half of the universe because there's too many people in the universe. I'm like, why not just expand the universe?
Yeah, that sounds the problem.
And it's because it's a fucking. That's because it's a fucking writer's convenience.
You know, Thanos is fun and cool and all, but his whole plot is kind of dumb.
Yeah,
like, we don't have enough resources, then make some.
Well, it's a movie thing because
then again,
that's what I'm saying.
Because it's a movie.
It's a writer's convenience.
Then again, it comes down to a little bit more realism for the audience who is outside of the comic book, and when you start introducing death and freaking Deadpool. And why he's doing it because
they keep death out because it's a thing that wouldn't fit into the story.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the idea of him being doing it because he wants to balance the universe doesn't make any sense, but it's worse with death involved, honestly.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, because he has a hard-on for literal death. Which they didn't bring in, which I was kind of wondering if they were going to tease.
I think that was fine.
But they didn't. They just kept it to what it was.
Didn't they essentially turn death into Hugo Weaving in the first movie?
Yeah,
the person that's like a harbinger of the Soul Stone, isn't that supposed to be Death?
Death. Yeah, that's what I thought.
But so they turn it into Hugo Weaving because they don't want to deal with that plot point.
Or not Hugo Weaving because he's
whatever.
Right,
they turn it into Red. They just bring Red Skull back because they barely ever address Death as a character. I don't know much about it, but that's what it felt like. They're like, let's bring.
And if you did that, you would have to reintroduce Deadpool, and that's a whole nother fucking basket.
Oh, goofy, comic booky, because
Deadpool cucks Thanos.
Yes, exactly. That's the whole point. So I'm glad they just left it alone, gave him his own thing. The whole purpose of it doesn't really make any sense, but I'm glad they did put something there so that it gives a character purpose, and that's why they had to build on it in Infinity War. And now, I guess his past self is still that big tyrant, as opposed to the defeated Thanos from the future.
Well, that's the good thing, is that you're able to get Thanos now, who's a tyrannical motherfucker, and that's what he is in this movie. He's still a badass. He understands what his future holds, and now I just have to kill all of you. Now I'm just gonna race fucking everything. Like, I'm not gonna spare anything. I'm gonna fucking kill it all.
I honestly thought when he died he was gonna say something quirky or say something interesting, but no, he just quietly sat down.
I kind of liked it.
It's a good subversion of expectations.
I kind of dug it where he's just kind of like,
yeah, it's over.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
I died.
I lost. And he just let it happen, and I thought that was a subtle, but
eat my ass. Disappears.
Subtle,
he's just like he's like sitting there disappearing, and he's like,
oh yeah, the Hulk did it. The Hulk did it.
I was kind of disappointed in the Hulk not being able to reach his maximum potential or anything.
He didn't really Hulk out in the movie.
Not at all.
I feel you.
He never did. His character sort of
like evolved. It was cool that they introduced like brainy like scientist Hulk, but like he still, even when like
he was comic relief. Him and Thor were comic relief.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, he did, but like
Hulk serves the important purpose is that outside of a Titan, he's probably the only being that can survive the snap.
There's a hand.
He is the person that could actually live through the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So that's good because he's the invincible Hulk.
Which I thought was kind of funny that Thor couldn't handle it, but I guess because he was out of shape, he couldn't handle it at that point. But Thor and Hulk are probably the only two.
And that's the thing, is that Hulk is notoriously like invincible. Like you can't kill the fucking Hulk. Like he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
So they wrote it in, I think, once again, one of those considerations that's written in very well. Like, and then eventually, the final thing of Tony making the Gauntlet and Tony making the ultimate sacrifice, and I think it's just really appropriate filmmaking because the MCU started with Iron Man and it ends with Iron Man. It ends with Iron Man and Captain America.
They do a lot of things to sort of like just tie the ribbon, the bow on the ribbon. That like we started with Iron Man. Fucking Jon Favreau shows up at the end at like the funeral and shit.
Because he's a character in the movie.
He's talking about cheeseburger. And talking about cheeseburger. And it's just kind of like, we are very clearly defining. We know this started with Iron Man. And this is where it ends. This is where we're ending right now.
And then they gave him the best death. They gave him a warrior's death.
They gave him
instead of like, I'm gonna retire with my family now.
Well, he got that. It's like they did.
He did it for 5 years.
Tony got that, and he loved it. But they write it in
duty.
They write it in very well.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can't turn off his brain.
Yeah.
If you know that something can be done, your focus now will never be family.
And even Pepper
they acknowledge it with his father and him talking to his father and how he realizes I'll never be.
But that's also a callback to like Iron Man 3 and the other Iron Mans where he couldn't settle down. He couldn't settle down. He couldn't, especially 3 because of the PTSD from Avengers 1. And like Pepper was trying to get him to rest, and he couldn't rest. Like even mentally, he just couldn't settle down.
But that was because of Thanos. I remember him saying that Thanos was constantly in his head,
and it felt like it was all just still there because he was still fighting Thanos until the very end. So it was kind of calling back, like this was part of Tony all the way back then, and it's still
it's just good fucking filmmaking, and then Captain America having his. They reference it a lot in the movie where he's like still is holding on to like the love of his life because he had to let that go, and they talk about it and address it when he says he had that lot loss even though everyone else had their loss.
I'll say this from the spoilers, from the moment we saw the brown van, I literally in my head I'm like, Cap's going back into the past and he's staying there. This is how Chris Evans is going to write himself out of this film
and
franchise.
Damn, old Chris Evans, CG old Chris Evans was pretty fucking convincing.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
And they decided not to old man makeup him, but they did like a likeness, and they had some crazy digital bullshit where that was a digital actor, and it was very hard to tell unless you looked at some lighting. Oh my god, dude! Like old Chris Evans, it was like
staring at
It was mostly his hair that I felt gave it away.
And it was the hair,
like the
it's
behind shots.
But it was the same kind of thing where they had a young Michael Douglas shot, like a young Hank Pym, and it was
They
just
did.
like Michael Douglas in his mid-20s, and I was like, holy fuck, this looks crazy.
He almost looked a little too good because he, like, you know, you go back to like Romancing the Stone, and he was still a little more chiseled,
a little gruffy,
a little more chiseled. And,
but
well, the same could be said with what's her name, you know, Samuel L. Jackson in the last.
Oh, that was
really
actually my
done.
favorite part of Captain Marvel was seeing young Sam Jack talk and engage like a normal. I never have to think about this. And that's the thing is that some characters look better and like having a darker shade of skin. That's the thing is that Sam Jack just fits it so well
and
to the technology.
You could kind of tell Fat Thor wasn't. You know,
absolutely,
you know,
and that was the thing. And sometimes
digitalized.
Fat Thor, and sometimes like the older Captain America, even young Tony it's so super convincing. But the one that is like, there was no way you would know unless you had any idea that Sam Jackson was like almost 80 years old.
You would have
no idea
for Gemini Man because now Will Smith is doing that. That was a young Will Smith fighting an older Will Smith.
Yeah, I saw that.
He looks like the Fresh Prince.
I saw that show up on Twitter, and I'm like,
Gemini
and
Man?
I was sitting here like, why?
Not Multiple Man?
No, Gemini Man or something like that.
Yeah, no. I just thought Mega Man 3 when I saw it. I'm like,
What the fuck?
I'm like, oh, it's a movie?
You should check it out.
What?
I have not seen that. I
was
thinking like Multiple Man because that's like a Marvel thing.
No.
Bruce Willis did it too.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he used the other actor.
But it was another actor, but
Yeah,
that was
Looper.
makeup, and that was super well done.
Oh, yeah. He did it in Looper.
Another time travel movie.
Yeah, another time travel
by
movie.
everyone's favorite director,
Oh, yeah, that's by the Jedi Men.
Oh,
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah,
well,
that's what got
that
him
was a
the
good
movie.
movie because it was its
a
own
good
movie.
It was a good movie.
I never saw it actually. I wanted to.
Looper's
Never
really
did.
good.
Yeah,
It's really
but-
good.
Yeah,
I like time travel.
here's a good question. Was there anything with you guys that you just didn't really like, or even if it was small or minor, or?
I don't think
anything at all?
so. I like I said, I had my personal grief or argument with Thanos in Infinity War 1.
Yeah.
Where it was like I kind of just want him to be a bad guy, and they literally fixed that in this
Yeah.
movie, where he's like, well, now we're going to give him a big double-edged sword, and he's going to go fucking crazy because he's like, you bitches kill me in the future. Fuck you!
Yeah,
And
I
he's
got
gonna-
my wish.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I eventually get what I want, but it ends up with me dead. That's no good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kill all of you now. I'm like, wow, this guy's an evil asshole. Okay,
Yeah.
this is pretty cool.
Yeah, we went away from trying to sympathize with Thanos to
completely.
Now he's a badass, and now we get to really see how the fuck.
So I got what I wanted.
He was, yeah.
You know, I got what I wanted. I hope if there is a eventual fighting game with Thanos in it, he does have a double-bladed goddamn sword because he's pretty fucking cool with it. But I don't know. Did you guys not like anything?
I was kind of disappointed with the lack of Spider-Man, the lack of Strange, the lack of
See, I kind of felt a little bit of that.
Panther. But again, they just came in so late that they couldn't write too much for them anyway.
You can't,
There
you
wasn't
can't
too
split that much
fun.
screen time with that many characters.
And of course, like Strange is probably like one of the most powerful characters in there. You could have done so much more, but again, he's just there to continue the plot as he continues to go. So
yeah, he's not a critical Avenger.
and not
The people who got-
he's not even Avenger. I don't think.
Yeah, the
actually.
people who were in Avengers 1 and had a lot of screen time in Avengers 1 and got snapped,
Yeah,
they don't have much
to go on.
No.
They come back late, and then it's just for a fight, more or
Yeah.
less.
But goddamn,
Because
that fight was
everyone-
awesome.
because they leave everyone from Avengers 1 alive.
There is one character I felt got shafted a little bit.
Who?
A General, pronounce this right, Okoye.
Okoye, yeah.
Okoye. She didn't get snapped. She didn't have nearly enough dialogue. I felt in the first.
She was
Avengers,
there.
and she just didn't. And she was alive in this one, and she just kind of barely
Yeah,
saw her.
but you know what? Though? I think she just went back to Wakanda. It's just like
No,
what?
I get
was
that.
one of them,
But
yeah.
it's just kind of like when they were doing all their stuff. I'm like, shh. I was kind of like, she should be with them. Like,
Right.
she
Well,
could kick. I'm like, I'm sorry, she could kick Black Widow's ass.
Oh yeah.
If we go by Black Panther.
I'm actually disappointed that they. I mean, I feel like the directors or the writers just flipped the coin on whether it was going to be Black Widow or Hawkeye.
Well, they
in that
had-
moment.
Yeah,
Like, I felt like
I felt they were setting it up.
Yeah.
The reason they could have flipped a coin, but
Yeah.
the reason they were setting it up is that the first opening shot is him and his family.
Yeah.
So you can't
You
you
can't
have to
go.
resolve that.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's what's
then-
going through my head when this happened. I'm like, this guy's a family. They're not going to
this
do
guy's.
it.
But the big one is that, and then they literally established the fact that Black Widow doesn't even know the name of her father.
Right.
Black Widow
Yeah.
never had a family. The only family she has is this.
Yeah.
So she doesn't. what she has to lose is if they die.
Yeah,
That's what she has to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
While everyone else has the Avengers family, but they have their own personal lives.
I sort of felt maybe like they might have filmed 2 different death scenes there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It felt like a
And
flip
I
coin.
wouldn't be surprised if they did, just to keep the
Yeah.
actors unknowing.
In the
Oh, yeah.
lead scenes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet there's like a different version where
Because apparently, like, a lot of this movie was not shared with other actors. Like,
Yeah.
they filmed things and
Only
then,
Robert Downey was the only one who saw the full script. Everyone else only filmed their parts.
And
only
appropriately
saw
so
their
that Robert
parts
Downey
of the
would see the full script, because it is
Right.
very Iron Man centric. Like,
Yeah.
and it should be Iron Man centric because it is the end of that era. It's the end
Yeah.
of a 10-year cycle of
script.
movies.
Yeah, like the. Yeah, go ahead.
And then to talk about, like, I guess, you know, there's really no after credit scenes, you know, and only after.
There isn't.
Yeah, and I heard there was like a clanking sound, but I didn't know. But then I thought it might have been like Doctor Doom's feet. But
Yeah,
literally,
and
it
you
was
listen to
just
it.
a back to like him.
It's
In the
back to
cave.
him
Tony
in the
Stark
cave.
making it in
Tony
the cave.
Stark making the Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
The beginning,
Yeah.
the
And it was,
beginning
you
of
know,
it.
even
Yeah.
though there wasn't, I'm like, that's kind of cool, man. It's just showing
It's nice. That's the bow on top time.
Yeah, that's the bow.
yeah,
Yeah,
my biggest nitpick is a weird one. I told you it was when they went back to 1970.
Oh,
the costuming was a little off.
yeah, because it really felt like 1950, and I
Yeah,
totally.
I'm like-
And now that you pointed it out, yeah, that was
Because it was
1970.
1970, and you see, that
Yeah.
great Stanley cameo in the Camaro,
Yeah, dude.
and Make Love Not
Yeah.
War. But I'm like, okay, the uniforms are a little off, and then like the lady in the elevator,
Yeah.
she has this complete late 50s haircut, and it's not supposed to be 1970. Like
No,
nobody,
dude, you're
I'm like,
right.
nah, people wouldn't have, like that haircut's kind of like over a decade out of style.
Yeah.
There's a weird fucking tick for me because I'm just like,
No,
they mixed up their timeline because there was just it was 1970, but everyone was dressed like it was 1955.
yep.
And Peggy Carter or Maggie Carter, whatever, she looked super fucking good for a woman 26 years after Captain America 1.
Yeah.
When he's looking at her in the office, I'm
Well,
like,
she's like in her young 20s there.
it's like, damn, she looked good. I'm like,
She's like a good looking.
40s.
I mean,
40s, you know?
she'd be like 45.
I
She'd be
wouldn't-
like hitting her 50s at that point. I'm
What age? I'm actually curious. What age is she?
Yeah.
She
But I'm
could-
not
she
sure.
could
Because she'd be
really
early
good
20s in the 40s,
Yeah.
and then so she'd be hitting 1970. She'd be getting close to 50,
Yeah.
and she looked great for her age.
I know you don't like Ant-Man, but
But he's
I
fucking
love
amazing
him.
in this movie.
Yeah, I loved him,
He's
man.
great.
Yeah.
He was like
Paul
the
Rudd,
good
speaking of
anchor.
age, Paul Rudd just turned 50.
Yes. So look
I
at
can
that.
see that.
Yeah,
And he's a hunk.
and he looks really young. I thought they handled Ant-Man really well
Yeah.
because
Ant-Man.
he doesn't come accompanied with the super hoke of the Ant-Man movies.
Yeah.
And I think that it's fine when it's self-contained. And then Ant-Man is kind of a bumbling idiot,
Yeah.
throughout a lot of the film.
But
so
yeah.
that is sort of contained because he's just a guy that has been given this shit.
Right.
But I think it was handled really well, and he gets his cool moments, and he
The
gets
plot.
a lot. He's very
Plot surrounded by
plot
him.
is well
Yeah,
the
I mean,
entire
like, yeah.
the whole reason anything can happen is because of
him.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Which is and it's like the same thing with like Nebula. These sort of side small characters sort of
Yeah.
get their big comeuppance.
Yeah.
Because they are super critical to plot events in the end, and that's actually really
I
smart.
thought it was kind of corny how he came back though. A fucking rat just activated the button.
Turned the thing on in the van.
Sure. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah. I just and it was a cool moment where it was like it was 5 years to you guys. I was in there for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, things are gonna get crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck.
But going back to that scene where Simmons was talking about, because I'm like, this is 1950, and then he's like, oh yeah, I'm expecting a kid, and he looked surprised. So I thought, like, whoa, did he have like another brother or something? Because I honestly thought it was the 50s, because what you said. So shit,
Yeah,
it was the 70s.
Because
And
the
just
costuming
kinda-
design was so 50s. Like Howard Stark still looked like Walt Disney. Who had already long died at that point. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like one of those weird things where I'm just like, that's a weird
I'm
costume
not
choice.
sure about the sidekick being the new Iron Man. I wonder if he can actually hold.
Yeah, so
I like that,
the
man.
only I mean I think it's a nice pass down because
Yeah,
he
sure,
is
sure,
fucking he is literally the whole embodiment of America. Like he's a
Yeah,
war
yeah.
veteran and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
For Iron Man or for
Falcon.
Oh,
Falcon,
Falcon.
yeah.
But he's still I'm like, so is he going to run around and punch things? Like, no, he's still going to be Falcon with a shield.
Oh,
And I was like, that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, oh, if you're Captain America, then you're going to like, okay, so here's this needle. I need you to hold still.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the juice to become Captain America.
I was thinking, like, is he gonna like have Bucky as his sidekick now?
Yeah,
Is
pretty
that,
much.
Like that was gonna.
That's,
be
that's what happens when you get the shield. You just
Man, I was
automatically
super
get Bucky.
expecting Bucky
You have
to
to
be
fall in
there.
love with him.
Bucky signs the contract with
I
him.
was
Okay.
super expecting Bucky to be the next Captain America, but it's it's
Nah,
Falcon.
Bucky's his own man, though.
Yeah.
I feel
Well,
is-
Bucky doesn't represent the American spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about? He's
No.
Russian operative. He totally never mind.
Wow, topical. Wow.
Simmons, please.
I think the pass down but it was like in my brain. You think Captain America, you think backflips and tossing shields.
Yeah.
But then you realize, oh, he's still gonna be Falcon.
Yeah,
he's still gonna be like that character, the Archangel
That's
character,
cool, though, but he's
with the shield.
He's Captain America who can fly.
Yeah, it is now Captain America that can fly
He's
around.
got gadgets and weapons and stuff.
Yeah, so
I'm down. I'm actually excited to see. That's a weird thing because like this movie excites me to see what are they going to do with Captain America with the new Captain America. What are they going to do with Guardians 3?
Yeah,
you know with you know.
So we have
Thor.
the transition movies now.
And I'm
you know?
thinking too because there was a thing callback. They said there was a big earthquake underwater.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking because that's
Oh,
gonna be,
yeah.
I think that's going to be the next plot point for
Genosha or something.
Namor. Namor versus
What the fuck is that?
Black Panther.
Aquaman for Marvel.
Aquaman for water
Marvel. He's
for
like
Marvel.
Oh,
Elvish
okay.
Aquaman.
Yeah, and they've had a big fights with Wakanda.
Well,
Oh,
now the big question is because they don't, and I think it's good. They
Yeah.
don't tease fucking
None.
anything.
Yeah,
There's no like mutant outbreak on the where it's like
was
something
sort of expecting
hinting towards
it, yeah.
X-Men, something hinting towards Doctor Doom, and maybe there is if you start analyzing it. Maybe something hinting towards Galactus because now we have the other great bad guys of the Marvel scape.
Yeah, they can come back
and
now.
they have good ones. They have Galactus and they have Doctor Doom, but like how. I don't even fucking know because
how many characters are gonna get spin-offs? You got Strange, you got fucking Hulk can be one.
You essentially now have Spider-Man, which is coming out.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is confirmed to have a sequel that's coming out. There's a Guardians movie, and that's about it. But then you hear all these other murmurings of this other weird stuff like Inhumans or Subhumans or some I don't even.
Actually, you know what? I think almost everybody's gonna get their own thing except for maybe like Scarlet Witch. I think she's the only one that
she's getting a show.
She's getting TV show.
We're not Scarlet Witch. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think she's involved with something, but
wait, so Scarlet, but Black Widow is supposed to get her own.
Yeah, Black Widow's getting a show.
It's supposed to be a movie.
Is it a movie?
That's
Yeah,
right,
I'm pretty sure Black Widow's getting a standalone.
Well,
it's a prequel.
Yeah,
It's certainly not happening after this film.
No, it's
definitely not a sequel.
No,
but Spider-Man: Homecoming is definitely a sequel.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Actually,
So it's definitely a sequel to this movie.
Oh yeah.
And I'm curious if they're going to tease anything at the end of that. Because now they're putting Mysterio in there and all.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it'll probably tease something to Spider-Man.
It is technically the first movie of the new
It's
era.
not Phase 4, apparently.
It is not Phase 4. It's still part of Phase 3.
Kevin Feige was like, nope, it's still technically part of 3.
Oh snap!
Okay.
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 Whatever.
I honestly thought they were going to reboot everything. Like, I thought, because from what we were all...
Yeah, we thought they were going to reboot it.
Yeah.
We did, and they didn't.
There's going to be like some sort of snap and everything was going to get reverted and only a couple people were going to remember what happened.
No, everyone remembers.
But no,
They once again, they subverted our expectations.
Yeah.
They took a different route, and I didn't think they were going to do time travel, but they ended up going with like a crazy.
I honestly cringe when time travel is involved because it tends to get fucked up really fast. But like they said, they did it such a good job.
And that's the thing is that it can be stupid.
Well, they also had the catch where it's like whatever you do, you got to put everything back the way it was.
Yeah.
You take the stones out, you've got to put them back the moment they left. So they're basically was saying like, okay, you can get your friends back, but you can't fucking change anything. Everything's got to play out the way it did.
And then it makes all the sense because Cap goes back and then he has Pym particles because Hank Pym is alive again.
Yeah.
And the whole point is that like when you time travel, you also space travel. Like you travel not just from one time to the other. You also and that's one bullshit plot point that they throw in there with time travel is that they throw in the fact that you can essentially teleport wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Well, here's the funny thing about time travel no one actually thinks about.
The location of the Earth.
Right, the location of the Earth. So if the DeLorean went back in time in the parking lot, of the J.C. Penney, when it came out in '55, it wouldn't necessarily be in
You'd be in the middle of fucking space.
You'd be in the middle of fucking space.
If you're in the same spot, we're rotating around the goddamn sun at thousands of miles an hour. You're gonna be in the middle of fucking space.
Space, unless magically it happened to be the exact fucking same. But
even so, does time travel? Like you got to realize where you at are.
This
is where your brain starts to hurt. You're in the cosmos right now, traveling tens of thousands miles an hour on a giant rock around a sun.
Yeah.
Are you going to transfer that energy once you go through time to the new spot? Or are you just going to lick? And that's the thing. This is where time travel falls the fuck apart, and it doesn't make any goddamn sense. So this is where you have to sort of be like. is it Bill and Ted or is it Terminator?
You just go with it. Time travel. You just gotta go with it. Time travel, you know.
And it can be handled in bad ways, and it can be handled like stupidly. And this movie isn't one of them. It actually does a very good job of like setting up cool moments and stuff that they definitely try to cover their ass. But it doesn't feel like we really got to go out of our way to cover our ass on this stuff. They thought this shit through pretty hard.
It doesn't feel like it was written as they were going along.
No. It feels like it all. You know what it almost felt like?
It does.
You know the part at the beginning of Avengers? They have the shot where all that basic Chitauri bullshit is happening in Avengers 2012, and then they pan down and they just see him sort of poured in.
Yeah.
I was almost thinking, motherfucker, what if we go back and watch the movie and that's actually there or some shit?
Yeah, what if it digitally added it in?
What if it was there the whole time and no one fucking noticed? You almost start thinking of that and you're like, maybe they've been planning this shit all the way since 2012. I don't think so.
No, not at all.
But it's so well choreographed in its execution that you would think that that's actually the case. Like, they've been thinking about this shit for the past 10 years.
I kind of felt that way with MK11. I felt like they actually did such a good job with it. And
I was saying the same shit. Walking out of the theater, how weird is it? Within like a few days of each other, we get a giant time travel thing and another giant time travel thing that's happening.
It's fun
with two of our like
you know why?
big
Because
movies.
it's really fun.
Because it is fun,
and
it's set up for fun ass shit in the MK story as well.
Yeah, exactly. We got to see
and it did happen in
fun
this movie.
throwbacks, which is what a lot of sort of the middle of this movie was.
Yeah,
beginning's like super downer, and then it's like a lot of fun.
And the middle is Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, and then it ends with a big old Lord of the Rings battle, and then it's just fun. There were moments where I did feel a little bit like, oh, I kind of like the time travel shit. I'm like, oh, can we just do more time travel shit? When like it went back to something in like space or something, I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I want to go into fucking space stuff. Like, just keep it back at the earthly time travel. This is cool too, though. But it was kind of neat how it juggled the two.
Yeah,
where it's like, here's the spacefaring sci-fi opera, and then here's this like more intimate like time traveling Earth saga for the characters.
Yeah.
And
the more personal Earth
for
stuff.
like half a second, when it would switch, I'd be like, "Oh no, I was kind of really digging this. Can we stay on that? No, we're going back to this. Okay,
that's what happens when you have so many characters.
Yeah, but there's like, this is kind of fun too. So I kind of get into that too. So.
And that's where it boils down. I seriously don't think it could have been done any better.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best conclusions to anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of like actually wrapping it up with a nice bow on top, and things happen that you expect to happen, but they happen in ways that are unexpected, even though you kind of knew it was going to happen.
My favorite thing was fucking Korg being in the movie. I was super upset in Avengers 1. So he's the big rock guy in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in Avengers 1, even though the ship, it starts on the ship and everyone's fucking dead. Yeah. And Thanos is just there.
And he's nowhere to be found.
I'm like, fuck, did they kill fucking Korg?
Too? Yeah.
Not in his mate? And then
he's
like,
just sitting at home playing Fortnite.
Some people were telling me that, the Russo brothers really did not like Thor Ragnarok and they hated that director.
There's all those rumors.
But he's in this movie
and
he has a great part.
And Thor is like a complete goofball, the biggest fucking goofball and it's so good.
Yeah.
It fits that character and what he's going through so fucking well.
And then I couldn't remember. Like I didn't see him on the Guardian ship at the end. I think he's staying on New Asgard, right?
Yeah, he's on New Asgard. He's staying.
Okay.
Yeah, he's staying.
Like I wasn't.
We don't know.
I'm just happy that he wasn't dead.
And now we don't know where the fuck Thor is going or what he's going to do. So that's left completely wide open.
He's going to go find himself with the Asgard.
That'll be in Guardians of the Galaxy, the next one.
That's Jesus Christ! I forgot that he's with the Guardians. To make them really interesting. Because,
you know what? Because,
more interactions with him and Drax.
Yeah.
The thing is, because in the comics, Tony joins the Guardians, but he did. So now it's going to be Thor.
Well, you know who picks up the mantle of Iron Man is technically Iron Woman.
His wife, Gwyneth.
His wife now is
because she was there.
She has the.
She had the cool blue
And that's what I was saying. Like the whole Iron Woman hearing more. I would love to see a fucking spinoff of the women just going at it like in a fucking movie.
Yeah, I heard rumors about there being a Valkyrie and Miss Marvel buddy.
Fuck, that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Valkyrie's a really really cool character that was really fun in Thor 3 and. It's a good amount of screen time in this movie too, and a nice
she was
twist.
Not in the last one.
Yeah,
it's crazy how much of that legacy is gone now. You had Odin, and you have Thor.
It's over.
It's the entire thing is all of them are dead. He's like, here, just you take it.
So I would be fair to say that we're gonna go see Spider-Man: Homecoming. Yeah, I'm curious to see what Doctor Strange ends up in because when you include Doctor Strange, you include the possibilities of like the actual possibilities, not just what's happening between personal lives of characters. Like Strange is reaching out into the cosmos, Dormammu shit, with like the really weird, spooky Marvel stuff. So that's why I think Doctor Strange 2 is going to be where they actually start spreading out.
And they're
like, yo, there's what's happening.
I have to say, like, any teases from other movies are not addressed in this one. Like the tease at the end of Doctor Strange, where the one wizard decides to go bad. Oh
yeah, well that's pretty much setting up their next movie.
And the ending of Guardians 2, where they were setting up Adam.
Adam Warlock,
from the Golden people. Like that's not addressed in this movie at all.
No, they don't need to.
They don't need to, right?
Yeah,
so there's no addressing or teasing or even acknowledging the other setup villains from the other recent movies that are been set up, but they don't. They're not at play here.
That's a good call.
Not at play at all yet.
You know who was in the movie and didn't even get a freaking line? Was Sam. Sam didn't get a
he didn't say one fucking. He shows up for like half a second.
Dude's like 80-something years old now.
I know.
But actually, he just had a huge part in because he was essentially standing in all those shots when he was young Sam.
Oh yeah.
He was still acting all those sequences out because like for lighting purposes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they digitized him younger.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be in any other more Avengers.
I think he definitely
minor maybe.
Oh, and
he'll be in some of those TV shows.
And the nod to Stan Lee, rest in peace. They got him. I think that was his last one, right?
No, he's one more for
Homecoming. Homecoming is his last one. Okay,
I believe this is his last one.
Second to last one.
But it was cool.
They totally. Have you seen that picture of him in the '70s at some party, just kind of like swinging, dancing?
That's where they got it from.
I'm like, oh, dude, someone totally took that meme pic of him from the 1970s. And like, that's what he's looking like in this film.
I would be I mean, of course, I was hoping they would like close it off with him being the one above all. Or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, but I think
that's
for a movie they couldn't do it.
That's the cosmic weirdness that they're going to have to explore with Galactus and shit like that in the future. You know, because that's the eventuality. The eventuality is that Doctor Doom is going to have to happen. The eventuality is that Galactus is going to have to happen.
And Silver Surfer.
And Silver Surfer's going to actually not be a stupid shitter like he is in those Fantastic Four movies.
Because honestly, Silver, I mean, all the stuff that Captain Marvel was doing was literally supposed to be Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer shit. So and actually, you're right.
She took place of Silver Surfer.
Yeah, because she's actually in the original comics, but she's Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
And she's wearing a skimpy bikini, you know, because it was the 70s.
Yeah, and Silver Surfer was the guy trying to get the gauntlet off.
Silver Surfer was the one that was like, flying around and blowing shit up. Yeah. And I think I haven't actually read the Infinity War comics, but I know kind of how they transpire. But I'm kind of looking forward to now we have X-Men obviously on the horizon. Like, and they're getting hard to work on that like right now.
Far away, but apparently
it's far away. But they're starting.
Where will Scarlet Witch even play out in that?
Yeah.
So how is that going to work? They're just going to retcon her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
How are they going to write in X-Men now? They're going to... Because X-Men were sort of like rooted in,
time and place.
Yeah, they're very...
That's why I feel a little iffy about, how are you going to have the Magneto Charles dynamic in like 2025?
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole point of like the segregation of mutants and how it ties back to reality is a big part of the fucking.
It was
X-Men.
very much.
But
like him growing up where he was, he was in Auschwitz as a little boy and shit like that. I'm like,
all
this
that
is ingrained in their characters.
How are
you going to do it without that?
The X-Men were literally born. They were created as a result of all the segregation that was happening when they were made in the
timeline of the invasion, and if they're not there, but then all of a sudden they're there later in the future.
It doesn't make any sense. So there has to be like a byproduct of everyone getting snapped back or some weird shit.
I don't know. I just feel that a lot of the best X-Men stories, especially with Magneto and Xavier, they're tied to their time.
But at the same time, do you want them to retell the exact same story that we already?
Well, that's the fucking problem with with the Fox movies, man. Is that it feels like the goddamn Batman shit, where I have to see Bruce's parents die all over again and again.
Well, if anyone can do it, it's Marvel.
It's the Russo brothers.
But let's be honest, they've never really. None of the Fox movies have really done it that well.
No, they didn't.
Only
Days of Future Past was pretty good, but it's still different. And then Logan's really good, but it's the end. Yeah. It's the death of the very, very last thing. So it's like we've never seen a proper. I mean, some people would say First Class is pretty good. I saw half.
It's okay.
Yeah,
and it was okay.
It's serviceable.
First Class.
It's better than, in my opinion, it's better than any of the old fucking X-Men movies.
I mean, the opening's great, but like a lot of the middle of that movie is just. So I would actually like to. I mean, I don't know if they can do it. Maybe it could just be separate universe. I don't know, but that's another. I guess it's another discussion, really.
Yeah,
it is
how to tie in X-Men in 2025 when they start bringing them in. So
I think we're going to start seeing where a lot of this shit is going in Doctor Strange 2. and that'll be a big overarching.
Yeah,
future.
the only like sort of easy, clean thing to do is like he visits an alternate timeline reality.
Yeah, well,
and then it's just like there's that.
Then they spill him in.
Yeah, they bring him in. They spill him in. Yeah, so
I think that would work perfectly.
That's probably the only like clean way of
Doctor Strange would somehow like find a fucking portal or something.
Yeah,
like that
an alternate reality, and he sees
like
the proper X-Men.
Yeah,
and it's like,
that makes sense.
Well, and I think the biggest thing they can do is either Galactus, Doctor Doom, or X-Men versus Avengers.
Yeah,
those are their big. That could be the next big Endgame. One of those three things.
Well, X-Men versus Avengers is essentially the same thing as the Civil War.
Oh, okay, then there you go. That's the Civil War.
They did Civil War. So
so they obviously have things, but where they're going, I'm curious because it doesn't look immediately super exciting. Yeah. Because this wraps up a very large part of what people love about
This is one thing I
Marvel
did say.
movies.
I don't think it's going to be immediate. I don't think it's going to be drastic. But I do think there's going to be a little bit of an easing off of
Marvel shit.
Oh,
yeah, just general like record-breaking Marvel movies.
Yeah, right. Like,
we got to Endgame. We saw Endgame. This movie's going to make like $2 billion. I think there's going to be. I think a lot of people are going to be dropped. There's going to be a drop off in viewership.
They're gonna have to play that long game.
Yeah,
they're literally going to have to do literally the end game.
And it's going to be hard for a lot of people to be like, oh, we're going to start up another 10-year cycle or something.
Probably not. They're probably going to take a little bit of a break from stuff and figure out what to do, which is good.
Either that, or they're going to Activision and just milk the cow until they fucking.
Well, that's what you would hope. Doesn't that like the Disney? That's the Disney side talking, you know.
Yeah.
But at least Marvel and Kevin Feige have like at least a decent brain on their heads, where they have a lot of control. And
I was going to say, how much creative control do they actually?
Feige has all of it.
A lot.
They have a lot, and that was the whole point.
More than when they started with.
Yeah, because it was bigger than all the Disney. It's not bigger than Disney. So
they were able to basically say like, let us be autonomous with our plan here and not have any outside.
Pretty much the big influence is the fact that it's marketing and toys and sales. And
it's making a ton of money, so I think they're like, look, we really want creative control over it. They're like, okay, well, you're making money. If you keep making money, we'll keep giving you creative control. As long as it keeps making money, when it stops making money, creative control go away.
Now here's a question. I think so. At the end of this, I think are the Infinity Stones gone?
No.
Yeah.
Well, they're put back.
You turned them.
They're put back to the point at which they were taken out. But but they're gone because Thanos blew them up.
Yeah. They're done
at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so they're technically written out because all the events still transpire. Yeah, they're gone.
It's the same thing with the hammer. The hammer is back with Thor, and all the stones.
Yeah, everything was sort of reset.
Well, they went back, but then they got blown up. So now
you still had to put the stones in place to have the events transpire the way they do to stay on the same timeline. Yeah. So yeah, Thanos blows them up, and his wish of killing everything still happens, and his wish of killing the stones with it still happens.
Right.
So yeah, the Infinity Stones are out of the question now.
Yeah.
Does that happen in that way in the comic? They blow. Do they get rid of them?
They always exist at any point.
Yeah, they can't be like.
Is it always like it's like the Dragon Balls or something? Yeah, they're always around in case they need to bring someone back.
They always exist in any point in given
it's getting too late. It's fucking awesome. I wish there was a Marvel vs. Capcom game out right now to accompany it in some way. Yeah, we were hoping that.
Can't wait to see like Thanos with a big double saber.
I would love to.
I literally just streamed fucking Marvel.
Of course, and you're just reminded of how great it is.
Right. And
we were hoping that there was like a rumor of some Marvel-y teasy thing around April that happened like 4 or 5 months ago. And that just didn't happen. We're getting to the end of April now. So, all things considered, if there is anything on the horizon for MVC and something, it's probably just as long a way out as fucking X-Men are showing up in the MCU.
Yeah, it's real depressing to see that the box art for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 has got an unofficial release.
And it's got all the
Marvel. You look at this, you're like,
fuck, it has all the characters.
You know what's sad about it is the fact that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was literally designed for this movie. Like,
yeah,
it
kind of was.
Absolutely.
Like, the whole point was that the movie was going to
Black Panther and everybody,
and
Captain Marvel,
the movie, and they were going to add all the.
It was kind of like a mix of
it's
Avengers 2 and Infinity War. You had Ultron and Thanos.
You know,
it's the central villain.
What's funny is that was actually the same thing for Marvel 3 and Ultimate Marvel 3.
Oh yeah,
all the characters were there for Avengers, which came a year later.
Right? Yeah, they were doing it to promote the movie.
They were literally to promote the movie. The Guardians were there, like
yeah. That's why everybody's like, "What the fuck are they doing?
What the fuck is a Rocket Raccoon?"
Yeah, right.
Like what we're trying to say is that we hope it all eventually boils back to a fighting game in some way.
Some way.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
See ya.